This channel is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken as legal advice. Welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday. I'm super excited to be here today because we covered a lot of subjects recently in our previous classes. Today, I want to give some practical insight to what I want to discuss about. And that is about the hierarchy of discharging from easiest to hardest. My personal experience, other people's personal experiences, and such as that. Before we begin into today's topic of conversation, I always want to start with Creditor Academy updates. The latest update is a big one. It's a big one. We are giving a special. I don't know if I call it an offer because like there's usually an exchange for an offer, but I guess there is an exchange as it deals with our private merchant processing platform. Our private merchanting platform, let me tell you, it's a privilege to have the connections that I have with the private merchant processing platform, because it's difficult to operate in the private when banks are constantly overlording over you and what your transactions and the transactions that you're receiving. So I wanted to share with you what it is that we're going through this week. I'm going to have my Bankers Connection in Brandon with Brandon and with the Canadians. If you've heard me tell that story before, it's a really good one, and I talked about it in previous videos. And I was obsessed with private merchant processing. I've been screwed over by big tech many times before, like Stripe, PayPal, and other big tech companies, because they don't understand private commerce. They're built for the W-2s, the corporations, and the mainstream compliance. So that, and they shut me down before. I've been shut down even before I got into this movement with private merchant processing, and it is frustrating. And, you know, I remember my father used to tell me about this thing called getting paid under the table. It was an expression that he used to say that, hey, if you want to earn money, try to take it under the table, because now you get the tax benefits, the privacy, you don't know what people are paying. This is like the digital way of today to do exactly that. You've heard of Bitcoin. You've heard of encrypted money exchange. This is like the same thing. This is an encrypted platform to give you secure private processing. This is like the Swiss bank account in your pocket as it relates to it. Because how many of you have heard about the advantages about utilizing Bitcoin for transactions and how private it is, and how many people use and maybe even abuse the system in order to work around the government and all that? The issue is the processing part, right? Because you got to tell someone to pay you in Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't have all of the capabilities for your invoicing software, your clients, your recurring payments, and all of that. And plus, they don't give you technology that you can use on your platform at your business for everybody to swipe, right? Because the conversion from fiat to Bitcoin is a hassle. So this is the next big thing, because the secure private merchant processing that we do is it puts you into the private domain, gives you all of the benefits of invoicing and your clients and the recurring payments and the technology and all of that. But what it does is it puts you on a private encrypted international platform, okay? And the bankers that have a banking relationship are very passionate about this movement that we are in. So what is the offer that we're having right now is I'm introducing my Bankers Connection, or a representative of my Bankers Connection, Brandon. All you have to do to get invited to that private meeting is really to do two things. Number one is you need to fill out this form to the best of your ability. It's just going to ask you some questions about the entity that you want to have to do your private merchant processing through? Is it a public corporation, a private corporation, association, or a trust? Is it an LLC? Is it a nonprofit? Is it a partnership, a sole proprietorship, and so on? And then there's other list of questions here. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that you must be a member of Creditor Academy already. In order for me to bring you to private meetings and other private people that I have within my network that I want to show off to all of the people, my connections, you need to be in the private domain with me. That is the caveat. And I do that through my PMA, my Private Montessori Association. So if you want to become a member, now would be the time to do it for two reasons. Number one is to get in on this exclusive meeting with my banker and to hear about the benefits of our private merchant platform, as well as other banking topics that we are going to discuss. The other thing is to take advantage of our masterclass deal that we are having right now. This is for existing and new members as well. You go to the homepage of www.creditoracademy.com, you go to masterclass, and you can learn about masterclass. You can contact us, but commit to growth, okay? You can pick one of 3 limited times offers. You know, so many of you, I've been so honored and privileged to see so many of you commit to growth. And for those of you that want to commit to growth and be like, you know, I'm with you all the way, Creditor Academy. I'm going to be here for a full year, and you're going to see the transformation of this academy, and I'm going to hook you up all the way through because you're getting early. I grandfathered you in, I hooked you up, I gave you special exclusive access to stuff, and I'm still doing it today. I'm literally bringing my banker's connection. I don't know how else to do it. So for 9 days, 9 hours, 46 minutes, and about 15 seconds from now, these 3 offers are going to expire, okay? But if you commit to growth, meaning you want to sign up for a full year of masterclass membership, you can pick one of these 3 exclusive offers. Option number 1 is extra months on us. Get 2 additional months free. That's 14 months total for the price of 12. Option number 2 is the personal credit power package. What is that? That's I Want Remedy Now. I'm so happy to report that just this week, I think some of them are in the class right now, is we discharged 214,000 credits, I should say, off of people's personal credit. And I'm here to say it's life-changing when you have that. Their scores goes through the roof. They have no more of that debt obligation is discharged. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about the hierarchy of discharging, easiest to hardest. And I'm going to include this inside of it. So if you want to take advantage of that, this special offer is only lasting for the limited time that we have here. Or option number 3, which is the custom website, no setup fee. This is huge, 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 because it's 0 money down and it's normally $1,000 setup. And then the 49 monthly payments on top of it. That is waived if you commit to growth. I mean, and it's your ability to show professionally who you are online, as well as it's a requirement for the private merchant processing, as well as the website is a requirement for Ryan's course in order to get lines of credit utilizing your private entities. Why is it a requirement to get huge lines of credit from banks? To have a website? Because a website is just the standard of having a business, and every bank knows it. I would also say that every individual knows it too, to a certain extent, that if you want to be a legitimate business and you want the banks to give you huge lines of credit, you have to have a website, period, bar none. But you can't just have any website. It needs to be also to the specifications of what the banker is looking for. You need the certain terms and conditions. You need login pages. You need, you have phone numbers, business lines, all of that. They have a checklist of 20 to 25 things your website must have. what we do here at Creditor Academy, we went through the private banking. We went through the business credit. We have the professional Ryan on staff, as well as me, who got the Private Bankers Connect for this merchant processing. And Creditor Academy passed every single one of those things. I went through it first before I do it for you. So that's why every website is to the standard of the bankers. So you will pass every single time. So a lot going on, I'm really excited about it all. Okay, so let me get into the topic of today's discussion. Okay, hierarchy of discharge. Fun subject. Let me give you some background on why I feel like I can talk about this subject confidently. Over the last a year and 3 months now, just about, I've had the privilege to have consultations with almost 1,500 individuals on discharging and everybody's personal experience on what they have gone through or what they have or are attempting. So I have people that have taxes that they need to discharge, their mortgage discharge, bankruptcies, student loans, and so many others. And I got to see everybody's different processes that they used, how long that process took, what paperwork they needed to supply, and all the other things that were dealing with it. And then through that, I got to learn from a lot of you actually what the best processes were. Honestly, like when I first started Creditor Academy, I mean, I knew some, but it was my advisors, my team of advisors, meaning really smart people that wanted to join my cause at Creditor Academy, and through consulting with the general public, that I got to see the success that you all have. And let me start off by saying that there is remedy. There is remedy. That's why on our website, we have I Want Remedy Now. I Want Remedy Now is all about dealing with remedy first. If you're already in a bad situation, you don't know how to get out of the debt that you're in, don't worry about doing Creditor Academy classes. Don't worry about researching and reading Black Law's dictionary endlessly. I Want Remedy Now is the #1 requested service of Creditor Academy with the most amount of success. We're batting 99. I can't say 100. Can't say 100 because nothing's guaranteed, but we're batting 99. And we're hitting huge numbers, 214,000 just this week. So if you want to take advantage of that, go to I Want Remedy Now, hit Learn More, and then go ahead and sign up for I Want Remedy Now. This isn't credit repair. This is remedy by design, okay? If you want to go ahead and enroll, you get not only everything that you need to take back control. You're not broken. This system is, okay? There should be zero shame. We want to empower your future. We want to give you lawful remedies, and we want you to start today. Claim your remedy. This is not theory. We have testimonials on this subject. People talk about it all the time. We're very proud of this. Ryan is really great with this. But you get a consultation and an entire course on what credit really is and how it is used to control and access your financial life. And we teach you how to lawfully discharge it. This is like our way of teaching you how to fish. What's that? You remember that like old saying, like you can catch a man a fish and he can eat for like a minute, and then you can give him a pole and he can go to the ocean and get a shark and he can eat for 2 days, something like that, you know? Oh, so this is our way to teach you how to fish, and not just fish, but big fish. These are sharks of the ocean that you're discharging. I mean, huge, huge. So we want to teach you how to do that, because if you learn how to discharge this way, you'll be able to do it for not only yourself for the rest of your life, but also for your family members in your community. It is not my goal to keep you on a string where you're constantly asking, Paul Michael, Paul Michael, Paul Michael, how do I discharge? How do I get remedy? How can I get remedy now? And for me to give you the same reply that every other guru gives you, which is what? Well, if you just take one more class. Well, if you would have just been here yesterday. Well, if you just had this template. Well, if you would have not done this or that or whatever it is, it's always an excuse to get you to have to fork over more of your money to someone who makes you addicted and reliant on them. And they use really complicated words of law and complicated legal paperwork that you're not familiar with because that's not what your forte is. And you're stuck to them because they're selling you hope. I'm here to tell you, just in sales alone, hope and fear is what draws people, right? You're fearful you're not going to be able to put food on the table or be able to pay your bills on time. But there's hope if you buy my course, if you buy my template, if you listen to me 24/7, if you watch all 200 of my YouTube channels. I don't want that. And there's no reason to go that way. This is why I Want Remedy Now is our #1 service. We teach you to fish. We teach you to fish. This is all you need. Then go out and go for it. Now, let's get to the hierarchy of discharging, and then I'll circle where I feel I Want Remedy Now is, if you can't already guess. So we're going to go from the hardest to the easiest, okay? First of all, let's talk about cars. I love cars. I just got myself a new Range Rover. I love the Range. It's my favorite. It's not only a luxury vehicle, but it's also an off-roading vehicle. I love off-roading, and it's got the most amount of features, lift kits, and all stuff like that. Now, there are individuals that I had consultations with that try to do processes with getting a car. I want to name a couple of them. There's the 1099. There's a negotiable instrument. And there's people who try to bring in bonds in order to negotiate for the car. There's people who go into the car dealership and use another form of a contract. Use another form of a contract and put their social security number and their cystic AV trust account down, right? Whatever it might be. Let me tell you, no joke, that type of stuff can land you in jail. Seriously, I've talked to people. Well, I have people currently that are facing jail time, arrest for trying to do negotiable instruments with a car. Just don't even do it. Don't even do it. Because if you go in with not the right understanding of what it is that you're doing, and you can't defend your position, or you don't know how to do an administrative process, what you may be doing might be lawful, but how it's being perceived and how you defend yourself might not get you out of that situation. It is better to do something that involves the least amount of people as possible. When you go to try to do private processes with a car, you got to deal with the salesperson. You got to deal with the accountant. You have to deal with the lenders. You got to deal with the car manufacturers. You got to deal with different banks. You got to deal with all these different entities or individuals in order to get yourself an automobile. And you're utilizing a private process that they're not familiar with. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. And this is why people, when you read online about getting remedy through cars and utilizing negotiable instruments to do it, you hear mixed reviews. There's one guru in particular, he wrote a book about it. He says, oh, this is how you get a car for free. And he even listed 25 dealerships in the United States that you can call. Well, guess what? I called them. And you know what? He sold a lot of books. But when you actually call these dealerships, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've been getting calls all day about that. That's something that we don't do, right? But yeah, you could go to jail for doing that. People do report that because they think that the negotiable instrument is fraud. They think the negotiable instrument is fraud. And you know what? Even the police officers don't know it. So they might think it's bank fraud too. And they just arrest you and they take you to court. So that's the hardest thing, is to discharge a car doing it that way. There's another way to discharge a car that's way easier. You get it every time. There's no suspicion. The car salesman and the place loves you when you walk out, and you did it completely in the private. I'm going to get to that later, but first I'm going to go to this next hardest. The next hardest is your real estate investment. Your real estate investment. I was talking about this earlier in Sovereignty 101, or one of them, where it was people try to do the allodial title. I had 5 individuals do this, and they went into foreclosure and all of that. The allodial title is the way where you get the actual original title to the land that the property sits on, okay? The property that sits on the land is now perfected, okay? You went to the Bureau of Land Management, you put in a claim, you got the original allodial title, you put your postings all over the USPS and the local newspaper to give the public notice for 3 months. It's a long, laborious process, but you can get it done. Then you finally get the allodial title. Then you say, I perfected the title. Now you stop paying your mortgage. The mortgage company says, hey, you got to pay me. Give me my stuff. And like, no, I'm not going to pay state taxes because this is private property, and I'm not going to pay you because I don't owe you. So then the thing is, and people may disagree with me or may have more to add, but I'm going high level. Okay, high level. I know there's way more detail to this, but I'm going just giving you guys an idea of what this looks like. But essentially, you get yourself into a position of what's called a stalemate. Basically, you perfected the allodial title of the land, but you don't perfect the title of the home. You may have tried, or maybe you didn't try, but basically, if they try to kick you out of your home, it's a stalemate, because they can't kick you off of the land that the home is on because you have the allodial title. And so they can't kick you off the land, so you keep on living in the house. And that's where they find themselves. They say it's a stalemate. So I'm going to stay in the house. And they can't sell the house that the land is on because you own the land, right? It's a stalemate. You're in there. They still force you outside of the house. They'll send police officers. They'll knock on the door. It's really difficult. It is difficult. I got to tell you, it's a process. I've seen many people go through it, and I've seen a number of people be successful. I've seen a number of people. It has happened, okay? And I also know a very prominent teacher on allodial title subjects, and he has some great stories and wins on it too. But it's a 6-month to a 1.5-year process of doing all that paperwork and fighting in court and giving administrative notices and all of that. To me, it's not worth it, especially for the consequences that come after that. And what's the consequences? The roof over your head, your only safe place to where you have shelter for yourself and your family, is now put on risk. I'll never put my family at risk. At the end of the day, I'd rather do a more easy, straightforward process that doesn't put me not only in a strain for the roof over my head, my real estate, but also the stress that you go under going to court all the time and doing these administrative back and forth so constantly. Okay? There's a much easier way to acquire the property in the private that doesn't involve an allodial title, that works every time, and the bank loves you. Okay? Let's go to the third hardest. The third hardest. Get ready for this one. Shit. You know what this is? Oh, as soon as I tell you, you're like, oh, should have seen this coming. When I started Creditor Academy, I was very ambitious. And when I get something in my mind and I want to do something, I go all the way with it. You ever feel that way? You ever like get really motivated into a subject? Maybe it's this one right here, or maybe you have a hobby and you just get so into it that you want to know everything about it and research it and master it. Well, ever since Patrick Devine talked about being a private banker, I just thought that's the coolest shit ever, man. That is so, I want to have my own Paul Michael private bank estate and trust, you know? I mean, nothing cooler, man. So I was like, I'm going to start a bank. I'm going to have my own private bank. I'm going to have my own software. I'm going to restore the republic by having my own bank, okay? And I'm going to get the most coveted thing that people wish to acquire in this movement, access to the TT&L account, the Treasury Direct account. This is Patrick Devine's whole step-by-step process for getting a Treasury Direct account attached to the TT&L with all the forms and fill outs that are in here. Look at this. Look at this. It says private information not to be shared in the public. Okay. You see this? All of it. It's got his name all over it. Look at that. So it's got in here, oh, you got to get your declaration. You got to get your status correction. You need your power of attorney. You need your certificate of authority. You need your affidavit of copyright. You need your certificate of identity, your UST documents. You need your DOJ documents and all of that. And it just goes into all of this stuff. So I was motivated. So I had a team of, about 25 people that would meet on a week-by-week basis where we do research on how to start an open bank. Let me just give you a long story short, is that to own a bank or start a private bank, it's a club and you ain't in it. You ain't in it. And not only that, but the TD accounts is really difficult. Because if you submit this paperwork and you make any errors trying to start a Treasury Direct account, you're banned for life. They don't give you a warning. If anything's fishy with your Treasury Direct account, you're banned for life. You're banned for life. You can't create an account after that. You're put on the list. So a lot of people in consultations that I was talking with were like, yeah, Paul Michael, I'm banned for life. I try to do a process and submit certain paperwork and communicate something, and they just shut down the account, and there's no way I can reopen it. That just is a closed door. And the TT&L, I know people that go to the window. We have the window for me is in Olympia, Washington. I go up to the window and I have all my forms, all my documents, all my bonds, all my SPC, all of this and whatnot. And it's hitting a brick. I'm telling you, it's a club and you ain't in it. It's a club and you ain't in it. So if you want access to the TT&L window and you want everything you give to that window to go through guaranteed every single time without it ever failing, that's the process I teach at Creditor Academy. That's the only thing. I went through every avenue and I said, this is the most direct way for me to get access to the TT&L account. And it was so simple. As soon as I looked at the paperwork and I looked at the process, I said, this is obviously the way. I don't know why I didn't see it earlier. But I had to change my way of thinking, because there's a lot of information that's on the internet, but I had to change my way of thinking. It's hard when you do it this way because you got to prove yourself. You got to show your authority. You have to try to enforce it. You're trying to go through the front door. But For me, I'd rather go through the back and go to the back window, so to speak. So those are the 3 hardest ways to discharge something, is to utilize, is to put yourself in a situation where there's too many people that are involved. That's the first problem. The second thing is to utilize processes you don't understand with templates that you found on the internet that you're just hoping works. And number 3 is try to force something that is not meant to be. You know what? Sometimes God just gives you inclinations within to say, hey, there's another way. You know, when you know something is the right way, your spirit pulls you towards it. Do you know that your spirit's not going to give you worry and anxiety towards something that is right and honorable? Do you ever feel bad helping the homeless? Does your conscience ever tell you, oh, you shouldn't be doing this? Does your conscience ever tell you to make you feel guilty for being kind? Does your conscience make you feel guilty when you're giving to the poor? So much more God wants to give to you, but you need to listen to your conscience in order to be guided in the right direction. In order to listen to your conscience accurately as it comes to this truth movement, all you need to do is just one thing. Be in the present moment. Don't be in the past. Don't be in the future. The future is what is the illusion. Oh, grandeur, millions and billions of dollars without any hard work whatsoever, just fill out any documents or whatever. That's a fantasy. That's a fantasy. But it is a direct path to that success. But you got to stay in the moment and you got to listen to your spirit on the way that you go to it. You can get a house, you can get a car, you can get access to the TT&L account that is good with your spirit, that is very direct and very simple. And it's very easy for you to get to the finish line. But what you have to do is, if you have to first understand how to get your self-remedy first. You can't do all those secondary things, houses and cars and boats and TT&L accounts and, living the high life. You can't even get to that until you just fix the mess you're in now. You have to fix that. You have to put your house in order first. Too many people are trying to get the house and the car. And then you say, well, are you in debt? Is your status right? Is your house of cards in order first? And the answer to that is no, it's not. Then why even try to go for the other stuff? You need realistic expectations. If you want to know how to get the house and the car and all that in the TT&L account, I'll go into detail about that. I'll show you the step-by-step, but you got to be a member. I talk about this stuff all the time, and anybody who asks me at Creditor Academy, I give the full step-by-step, play-by-play. But if you're willing to, but I need to see that you got skin in the game. I'm not going to be throwing out pearls to swine unless you're serious. And the first thing that I would suggest, if I was to give a suggestion, is one, to either become a member. It's a very reasonable membership. You get a lot with your membership. You get Sovereignty 101. You get the introduction series to Sophomore Become Private. You get the introduction series of Operating Private, and so much more. That's all the Creditor Academy courses on our website. It's very streamlined. It's very organized. You can learn about them. And I teach you classes, all part of your membership. Okay? I hook you up. I even hook you up with my bankers connections if you're a member. I'm already inviting those people, just for filling out the private merchant processing, because you're willing to get skin in the game, right? But if you really want to understand how to get that TT&L account, get the car, and get the house, you got to get your house in order first. Start with I Want Remedy Now. I Want Remedy Now is going to show you a clear roadmap on not only how to fix yourself, But after you fix yourself, you're setting yourself up to know how the credit game works. You got to know the credit game. And as soon as you know how the credit game works, there's no stopping you. Because how could you ever be poor if you learn in this one class, I Want Remedy Now, how to get access to as much credit as you want personally? Then you start to see how these other things are done. And this is why now it's just so simple. That's why I got a Range Rover. That's why I bought a new Lexus 2 months ago. I got a new Ford a month before that. And then I'm going more real estate and everything. I just know how the game is played. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. And next Tuesday, I'll give more into the glimpses of the easiest ways to discharge. I'll give some glimpses, but if you want the full story, go ahead and join Masterclass at Creditor Academy. We'll be so excited to have you. So excited. And we have some great resources and an amazing community of like-minded individuals where we can cover that. If you want to be a part of our after hours, which is after our YouTube Live, we discuss more stuff and you can ask me questions about our academy, our processes, our instructors, what we teach, who's involved with the community. You can go to the homepage of our website and go to the very bottom, and then you'll see the Join Us Live on YouTube. You go to class, and then you'll get access to the links right here every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.